It's a little wet and a little soggy this morning. The birds are chirping, but I think it's time to get the show on the road. Let's go. So a day in the life of a coffee roaster. Well, a day in my life is gonna look a little bit different than all the other coffee roasters, and mostly that's because not only do I own the coffee roasting company with my brother Sergio, as you all know if you've been around the channel, I'm also a freelance content creator, so that throws in a little bit of a mix into my day and means I'm doing a little bit of everything kind of at all times. But that also kind of does make things a little bit interesting. Sipping on some really delicious and tasty cold brew. Today is actually one of those days where I get to deliver cold brew to our wholesale accounts. I'm always so confused about what Sergi does to our cold brew that makes it so tasty. It is not your bland flavor profile, and so when he makes cold brew for our wholesale clients, which we have two tap houses in town that buy our cold brew and put it on tap, it's actually like really spectacular. Alrighty, dropped off some cold brew with the folks at Jack's Tap House, and we're off to the bank. Try to pay for an order for green coffee, and most of the time we just pay with our card. We just type it into the invoice like any other order. And sometimes you run into companies that ask you to do like a bank transfer or send in a check, which I hate doing both, because just like today, went in there with their banking information. Now my bank is telling me that, well, there's not enough information and it's the wrong information. Now I need to go back and reach out to them, which is just such a hassle. The joys of running a business, I guess. I haven't had my first coffee of the day, so I'm gonna go get some coffee and grab some breakfast, and as well as respond to emails while I'm eating and munching on something tasty. So of course, cafe of choice, Narrative Coffee and Bellingham. Let's go.
I spend my Mondays like Fridays. I spend my Fridays in the box with my heart and my whining. I put my pinings on pedestals to the keeping them grounded. What's that mountain to nothing? Let's make something from nada. Let's go to Gucci and Prada. Set the buildings on fire. Screaming death to designer while we listen to ponder. I'm on a grown man, baby face, kind of a tantrum. Spreading like cancer did. My father's skeleton.
Yes, I actually already added that in, but it seems like it was maybe a little too quiet for you to even notice. So I'll tune it up a little bit. It's just like some settle.
There's a better me around. Just gotta grab it. This is magic. This is switch from lost and found. Make my baggage do a backflip, stick the land and hit the town with my
couple meetings, a couple editing jobs, emails, all of that good stuff. And now I'm just headed to the office to finish up some work right before we go ahead and roast tonight. Oftentimes when people think about starting a coffee roasting company or having a coffee roasting company, they're thinking about, trying all these beautiful samples from all around the world and dialing them in on a roaster and having these really amazing coffees that they're roasting. And everything kind of is like romanticized, even though that all is present, and we love what we do here at Mir. I think it's spectacular, and both my brother and I enjoy it. However, oftentimes it's also not the flashy stuff. It's not roasting and it's not tasting coffee. Oftentimes it's, doing your taxes, it's being on phone calls, being in meetings, talking to importers, figuring out and dealing with logistics and shipping and all this stuff that need to be done in order for us to survive and keep doing what we're doing. I gotta stop by a couple more places to run some really quick errands, but otherwise, it's time to roast some coffee. During the roaster warm-up time, we'll usually look through all of our unfulfilled orders, and then we'll figure out how many batches do we need to roast of each coffee. Sometimes we don't have to roast necessarily a coffee, and sometimes we're roasting all of our coffees all in one roast session.
Like brewing a batch before roasting, eh?
Yeah.
Having a good batch pre-roast, and also QCing a little bit and being like, you know, maybe this coffee needs a little more DTR. Firm believer in the batch. Firm believer. So usually kick off our roast day or our roast evening most of the time. A little bit of a decaf. So starting off the decaf batch, 15 pounds, ready to load her up. Doing 6 pounds, right?
Wow, that was a little bit of a hectic day, and might have been just simply because I don't usually try to document it and film it on a camera. Maybe that's what made it a little more hectic than it really was. But that all being said, we wrapped up the day with quite a bit of roasting that needed to be done, and unfortunately we had a little bit of a late start, which means a little bit of a late end. But the good news is we finished up all of our roasting. A lot of the coffee is getting ready for deliveries tomorrow around town. A lot of it's also getting packed away in boxes and getting ready to be shipped. That all being said, as I'm listening to myself saying that, a lot of stuff didn't make the video, like QC, like coffee cupping, tasting, brewing, shipping. Hopefully this was intriguing, insightful, or entertaining for you. Hit that subscribe button if you want to stay tuned for more coffee videos. Hit that like button if you like the video, only if you like the video, or you just want to be nice and generous. That's also good too. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.